The biggest news this week in tourism is Venice has started an entry fee of about €5 for all day trippers. That means tourists who are going to be on this in the city for the day will have to pay at least €5, which is about $5.30 in American dollars. It's a big deal because it's the first time ever a destination is going to start charging an entry fee to enter it. It's difficult to manage, but with Venice, it's such a small town, such a small city, and there's not that many ways to get in. They seem to be able to try and enforce it. They already have people already at the entrances blocking out the ways who are going to be checking people who paid their fee. You paid the fee by going on the government website, pay it, get a QR code, and they get scanned by officials and at the front. So we're going to see how it plays out. At the moment, there are a lot of exemptions. You're exempt if you're an overnight tourist because you already paid tourist tax. If you're a resident, a commuter, you were born there, all those people get exempt, which is about over, I mean, on the first day, over 113,000 people registered for the entry fee. But get this, less than 16,000 have paid the fee. Everyone else was exempt. So it'll be the big thing is that it's going to be very much small chump change to raise for the city, but it's meant to be an experiment to see if it's effective at deterring tourists. But it won't do anything because it's $5. I mean, if you're international tourists, you are literally not paying anything. You will pay you. It takes a lot of. You already have a big budget. International travelers spend a lot more than domestic travelers. They're not as cheap because you think you're an American. You spend a lot of money to go from the U.S. to Italy. You're going to be very much a big spender. You aren't going to go cheap. You're going to have a fun time. You're going to spend whatever it takes. And $5 in Italy is nothing to you. So it won't make a big difference. It's not going to deter them. It's meant to, people see it more as a way to raise money for the city as well as to look like they're doing something. There was a small protest on the day the fee started, but 300 people, according to news reports, showed up at the square in the city. It was pretty small, and they were arguing that the city's not a theme park. From what I gathered from locals who live there, they tell me that the protests were kind of like scattered. They weren't really as serious as people think they were. It was exaggerated by the Guardian, other news outlets, which I totally believe. I think it's such a small fee. I think the real issues Venice has is that the city just, it's just not, it's pricing out a lot of its residents. I think those are other issues that people really care about. This tourism problem, yeah, tourism is a problem for the city, and people are worried about it, and they want to look like they're doing something. But what people care about mostly is the cruise companies, the cruise industry. They have too many people. They come too many people into the city. They flood it, overcrowd it. That is the real anger, the annoyance of the locals. So that is the real problem, more so than I would say this whole fee. But it's been exaggerated. All the numbers, they stopped. All the protests stopped. They aren't happening anymore. And the fact, oh, by the way, only 300 people showed up to the protest. It was a bank holiday, by the way, so it was a day off. Everyone had a day off. It was St. Mark's Day. Everyone had the day off, but people, they came through, but barely anyone showed up. You would expect more people to show up if they have a day off, but they didn't. But when they had the cruise industry, when it came to protesting the cruise industry, more people actually showed up. There were thousands of people who would show up for that. So this fee is not really angering locals as much as the media outlets make you believe. Time will tell how the system works. It's going to be taking place on 28 days across 3 months in the city on peak days during peak times. We'll see how it plays out. My idea is that this is definitely a publicity stunt, and they're probably going to learn. It's just a way to make more money for the city, which is fine as long as it goes through conservation efforts to help the city preserve itself as it deals with over tourism.